Brodes Media.
Right on the money. This team is right on the money. 3 down. Here we go. Can they do it? Yes, they can. We just need to wait a couple days, and it will happen. Before we talk about Joel Embiid's crazy night and the huge victory down in Washington, D.C., I'm running a giveaway where you can win a Joel Embiid jersey. On my Twitter page, at Brodes81, pinned to the top of my profile, explains the rules. It is so damn simple. Do not be a fool. Get engaged and get involved to all of the Hump Day giveaways here at Brodes Media. Second, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You are not going to want to miss the fun that we have here breaking down all the Philadelphia sports that we get every single damn night and everything around the sports world as well. And also smash the like button. It would truly mean the world to me. And with that, enjoy the show. 3 down, 1 to go. The 76ers cruise through the Wizards on the road in Game 3. They're handling business, and before their playoff run started, I stated they had the keys. They were in control. They were in the driver's seat. It just comes down to execution. It comes down to determination. It comes down to the mentality. Not that I ever would have thought that the first round would be where things would explode, because you'd be an absolute jerk-off to think so after watching this team compete for so damn long and also watching the Washington Wizards, who blow, who suck, who can't do a damn thing. I want to praise the Sixers. I really do, and they deserve a lot of praise. Seth Curry and Danny Green knocking down all these shots. Ben Simmons early on, super aggressive. Joel Embiid, a playoff high in points, 36 points in 28 minutes. That dunk, the first attempt, I never seen him attack the rim so damn hard in my life. And when I recognized that ball didn't go through, I was so defeated. And I tweeted, oh man, I need to see that attack again. I need to see Joel go downhill just like Ben Simmons does and explode next time and finish. And within, 1 minute, I got that. I got what I was looking for. So I tagged Joel and said thank you, because that was unreal. Joel was sensational. The Wizards suck, though, and that is true. The way that they just lost a ton of players defensively, their defensive assignments were just embarrassing. Credit to the Sixers for exploiting those holes and understanding where they can get open on the floor. But at the same time, how are you honestly going to allow Danny Green to be that wide open? How do you lose track of Danny Green that often during that spurt where he was just cooking and going off? He was so damn hot that we were satisfied with the heat check for a 65-foot jump shot that was barely even close. And we're laughing, having a good time, just joking around. Oh, who cares? You're up $75 billion anyway. So what's it really matter? Unbelievable. Awesome performance. Joel is getting to the point where he's egging on the crowd after making a play, and he's expecting boos, monster boos, but instead, to him, it sounded like Sixers fans were in the building showing their love. Well, because they are, and there's no such thing as a Washington, D.C. fan base, except for the Capitals. I'll give them credit for the Capitals, but the Nationals know, the Wizards know, and Russell Westbrook with his good old-fashioned triple-double, that means absolutely nothing, but he continues to pad the stats. He did have a kiss off the glass that actually went in. How about that? You want to take a positive out of this, Russell Westbrook? One of your stupid little off-the-glass jumpers. Every time he takes a jump shot, and I know he hit a couple today, but I laugh. I watched him hesitate for about 18 seconds up by the top of the perimeter with Ben Simmons with his arm reached out, ready to pounce, pretended that he's going to jump towards him, and Russell Westbrook just became a bitch in that situation. It just cracks me up, because we want you to do that, Russell. If you think you taking jump shots is going to be the difference in your team winning or losing a game, Come on, stop it. So he finished with 26, 12, and 10. That was the quietest triple-double I've ever seen in my life. It absolutely means nothing. So when you see these numbers of Russell Westbrook, these are the type of triple-doubles you get more times than not. Just useless garbage that I don't give a damn about. So I don't want to hear about how awesome he is or any of his damn numbers. The Wizards did make a change for this game. They did go with the Bertans in the starting lineup instead of Raul Neto. What are we watching? What is this playoff series? In what universe is this what we're witnessing? We're talking about the major change from the opposing team's coach, which was putting in Bertans, who the other day had 0 points and 6 fouls, which is a joke, even though I'll give him respect. I mean, he does have a skill set that is very beneficial in this league, and more times than not, he's going to give you 3-pointers over that 0.6 foul performance. But we are analyzing the big change, the big starting lineup change, Bertans for Raul Neto. It's just a sick joke, but the Sixers have to take control of this, and they're getting old-fashioned load management, which is just amazing. You're seeing minute totals around 27, 28, 26. A couple guys play a little bit more, whether it's Tobias Harris because he's out there with the bench unit, or if it's Ben Simmons that ramps up the minutes just a couple more than the others. The fact that you're going to just breeze through this bad boy, not just breeze through it and win easily, but you're also going to have your players well rested and being able to take care of their body a little bit easier compared to going through a series that might be a little bit more, I'd say not damaging, because no matter who they're going to play, it's going to be a win for the Sixers. But, you know, it's a big difference playing. This is why I talked about it in game 1 of this series. When I see Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal log in 40-plus minutes in game 1, it's over. It's over. They can't play that long every single night and contribute to this elite rate that's going to take down this full-capacity squad. It's just impossible. But logging 40-plus minutes a night, that's taxing on the body. You're going to need to do it later on as you continue through this playoff run. So if you can escape those situations in the first round, it only makes it easier. It's only an advantage. It definitely does not hurt your team. Watching Bradley Beal put up 26 shots for his 25 points, not the most efficient night. This Wizards team was lost, though. They were gone. Joel Embiid took over. It was wild to watch him go 14 of 18 from the field. What were you going to do? How were you going to stop him? And I'll give Ben Simmons a lot of credit here, because we did see a difference between game 1 and game 2 with what the Wizards were trying to do, and when they would constantly go to Joel Embiid early, that would open up Ben Simmons, but Ben Simmons then had to attack, and he had to recognize that there were many moments for him to go to the rim, and he did that in game 2, and that's why a lot of us were satisfied. Here in game 3, I think early he had those moments where he was going downhill, where he was attacking anybody who came his way. There were times where Bradley Beal was on him. Laughable. There's times where he's splitting through 2 defenders, going to the rim, no matter if there were 2 guys there or not, just blowing by Hachimura, who, there was actually a caller on 97.5 The Fanatic over the last week that stated that the difference in this series for the Wizards, as if this was a benefit for the Wizards, it was Hachimura. And I'm laughing my ass off going, in what universe, dude? If anything, that's where I think the Sixers might be able to attack the most. And what do you know? Tobias Harris recognizes times for it. Ben Simmons, the footwork just completely gassing right by Hachimura. He can't do a damn thing. No matter who was on Ben early, he got to the bucket, or he would wait there down below in the paint. He'd get a pass, and he'd put it up for an easy 2. He'd get a slam. Ben Simmons scoring the way that he did in the first portion of this game somewhat, I think, played a role in the way that the Washington Wizards elected to try things. But you can hear and see Scott Brooks after the game, and not that we needed this moment to know this. We fully understand it way before. They are just defeated. They have nothing. They are a bad basketball team. The Sixers were red hot from 3. Danny Green on fire. He went 5 of 9 for 15 points. Seth Curry shot 50% from 3, 15 points. He also had 6 assists. I saw that there were moments where there was some really good action being ran with Seth Curry being that option to pass the basketball, and he was making stellar passes. He was getting guys in spots where they would take advantage of that mismatch, or they would take advantage of that opportunity. So Seth Curry actually providing some ball movement as well and moving the rock. This whole team can move the rock. When you watch the Milwaukee Bucks win and beat the Miami Heat, which is exactly what I thought it would be, which I didn't think it was going to be a sweep, but I thought it was going to be a Miami Heat showing that they are overmatched. But I was informed that game 70 of 72 that this Miami Heat team was so damn good that they could take down the 76ers in a series. Stop it. Stop it. Jimmy Butler. What was that? Stop it. Stop it. So for all those losers who thought the Miami Heat were so scary and they were so damn good and all this, Eric Spoelstra said something after the game that I just find very fascinating and I love, by the way, considering my feelings on NBA head coaching. And he said, look, I never had over 50 wins with LeBron James, so take that for what it is. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but he's talking about his team and talking about the Milwaukee Bucks and how they have taken strides forward from last season to this season, which is very true. And he said, not too much about where his team is, but then he talked about, look, I haven't had a 50-win season without LeBron James. It's like, oh, okay. And he's not wrong. And he's also one of the best coaches in the NBA. So just saying, I just thought I had to throw that in there because, I get a lot of heat. I take a lot of flack for the way that I view the NBA head coaching in this league. Anyway, back to the Milwaukee Bucks. With the Milwaukee Bucks, they just play a good, solid, really fundamental team game. They have Giannis, who is a star in this league with a lot of flaws, but Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, their team, and they have a big injury, by the way, with DiVincenzo that can be a difference maker with the spark plug of the team, someone who can obviously create shots from the outside for them and hang out with the spacing area of the game and just hang out by the perimeter, gets a ball, just creates that three-point shot for this team. That's a big loss, no doubt about it. They play good team basketball. When I watch the Sixers, they have Joel, who right now I would say is playing at a higher level than Giannis, which is no knock on how great Giannis can be. Joel is just a monster, and he's locked in differently. And this is MVP basketball. This is I'm taking over the entire league basketball on another level than anybody else in this damn league right now. Yes, Jokic is in that mix too, but Joel is just a freak, all right? Joel is insane. He really is. He's beautiful to watch. I almost cry watching this man play, thinking I cannot believe that he's in a 76ers uniform. And not only is he special, but he's more than just a special talent. It's hard to even truly comprehend in this moment because I feel I'm in shock mode that we are witnessing this greatness consistently. It's like I'm in shock and I'm going through the motions and I'm in awe and it gives me goosebumps and the hairs stick up on my arms. And while that's happening, I'm not fully grasping that this is real life. This is Joel Embiid, and you're put in such a good spot every single time that jersey touches the floor because of that man, Joel Embiid. 14 of 18, 36 points in 28 minutes, 14 of 18. In what universe? It's seriously laughable to think about the options that the Washington Wizards had, but Joel took full advantage. And game one, he needed Tobias Harris to be that dog for him because he got himself into a lot of foul trouble, which costed him early, even though in the second half he did have the Joel Embiid type of half that we're accustomed to seeing. But the overall game didn't feel that way because Tobias Harris almost had 30 in the first half, and they closed out the game the way that they did, and the whole Ben Simmons drama sparked its head and whatnot. And with all the praise I gave Ben Simmons early, and I thought he found his teammates very well, the free throw line thing is getting concerning. Now he's 0 for 9 to start the playoffs as he went 0 for 6 in the earlier game, 0 for 3 today. What's going on? That does have to change. That does need to be addressed. And I know he's not going to be an 80% shooter, anything wild like that. But I'm asking for his average, and his average is in that 60 area, and right now we're getting 0. So if that's going to change the way Ben becomes aggressive later on, well, keep your eye out for that. I don't know if it is or not. I truly don't know. I'm just saying. He doesn't feel confident in that area. Teams are going to play that game when the teams are better, stronger, closer game, smarter coach, things of that nature. So, when all of that becomes a part of the equation, how is the lack of free throws going to impact this team? How is Doc Rivers going to try and coach around that, whether it's George Hill, whether they go with something else? There's plenty of other things that they can do to try and work around it. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, but maybe it is something they have to do. Where was I getting there with Joel, though? I was talking about Joel and how unreal he was and his team just playing great basketball. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. But with Joel, defensively, he was amazing. He had 3 steals in the mix, and his hands were getting in the cookie jar. He was being active. Bertans, at one point, was so afraid to attack the rim. As he was going, he got about 5 feet from the paint, realized that Joel was going up to try and make a block, and he just kind of threw it to the ground and turned it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want that smoke. I don't want that. I don't want to be on some sort of poster of a block. I don't want to be on some Sports Center top 10 highlights. Instead, he decided to somewhat pretend to fall over and hand the ball off on the floor. Oh, I just turned it over. Oh, my legs just slipped. No, you were afraid of the Embiid. And I understand why. Because I would be too. I don't want to be in the same pain as him, whether I'm on the offensive side of the floor or the defensive side of the floor. Please, don't let me near that man. Don't let me near that individual. And that's how the entire league should be looking at it right now. Tobias Harris, he had one of the quietest, weirdest, strangest good games. That's what happens sometimes, though. Joel becomes the star after the show and whatnot, but damn, Tobias Harris, 20 points, 8 of 14, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists. After the game's over, I look at the stats, I look at the team stats, I look at their field goal percentage, 58.6 as a team from the floor, 51% from 3, so they were dialed in as a whole and just making their shots. They had a lot of good looks, and with those good looks, they cashed in. Doc Rivers postgame mentioned how it's about the process. And once again, I'm paraphrasing, didn't use that word. But he's talking about this team and getting the looks that they generated. They generated the good looks. Some nights, those same exact shots are not going to fall. You got to stick to the plan. You can't let that dictate you getting away from the game plan or not. And, to a degree, I do agree with that because you're right. You can get the same wide open looks for Seth Curry and Danny Green in another game. And instead of you being up 12, you're up 6 because you did not make as many, or some bad luck happened, or they weren't as wide open as they were this game because you're going up against slop. So don't let that shame. At the same time, though, if you keep pounding the same thing over and over and over again, hey, it might not be Seth's night. Maybe we can try and work offense through another situation, or we can look to exploit a different matchup, or we could try to go to the other side of the court and get Danny Green maybe a look similar to that, but on the opposite side or something. But at some point, you can't drill the same exact play if it is wide open. Sometimes it's not a guy's night. And I'm not saying I'm disagreeing with a wide open look. If you're getting a wide open look, I don't give a damn if you're 0 for 10. I want you to let it fly. But sometimes, look, it's very situational, and it depends on what's happening on the floor. Context does matter in that specific moment. It's just the way that I kind of have my eyes set on it. Tyrese Maxey was the first guy over Shake Milton when it comes to that duo. That's kind of been a hot topic in this city. What's going to happen with Shake, because he looks lost as can be still. And that sentence, Shake Milton looks lost, I swear to God, has been thrown out of my mouth for the last 3 months. At this point, that's inevitable. I feel like that's part of the game. It should just be known from the jump, and I don't even have to state it. But Tyrese Maxey gets some run. The all-bench early was a problem, and I think Doc is trying to milk his way through this. And as I alluded to, the load management in-game, maybe they really value that, and they see that they can get through this series. I wonder how that's going to look, though, against either the Knicks or the Atlanta Hawks, because I think it does work against the Wizards. Obviously, you're up 3-0, and you did go all bench a few times. There is something to be said about, I don't know if you can get by with the Hawks or with the Knicks, and I still think that the Sixers are a way better team, and I mean way better team than those squads. those 5, 6, 7 minutes or so where the other team gets on a run or maybe some of their better players get going and then that dictates or that changes the rest of the game. If you go all bench and Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal start cooking or Trae Young starts cooking or whatever, it's not going to be Julius Randle. He's having a really tough time so far. I think he's adjusting to the playoffs and it's giving him a tough time. Oh, by the way, it's not as if the Atlanta Hawks have insane threats and like the most intense roster ever. I tried telling you it's a different beast in the postseason. That's for damn sure. I've seen a lot of scoring so far this playoff run. Tatum's dropping 50. The Brooklyn Nets, you look at James Harden and Kevin Durant, they're being explosive, scoring an obnoxious amount of points. One of the big things that I've stressed over the Ben Simmons era was the inability in the half-court sets when things slow down a bit. And we know how games are changing. There's two ways to look at this. So, is it possible that the game is changing so much in the regular season with the style and pace of play that the Sixers might benefit from it and you don't have to worry? It's still there. It's not like you don't have to worry at all. There's still some worry, but you don't have to worry as much as we used to because the set defenses aren't as there? Or is that a product of playing some of these worse opponents as you intensify the matchups and as the teams get better, the game will naturally slow down? That is very possible. Right now, I'm watching so many points, so many guys scoring, so much fast pace. It hasn't slowed down the level that I thought it would. Could be a nature of the first round and the 8th seeds. But here's the other side of it. It might be great for Ben Simmons and the drama that is there, even though in the fourth quarter things will still shrink and it will still resurface as it should. This team is bad with transition defense. So if the game is going to be highly paced and back and forth and running through like LA Fitness, that's a negative with this team. So the positive would be Ben Simmons' flaws don't show as long in a 48-minute playoff game. The negative is your defense lacks in that area, but maybe that gets cleaned up because they're willing and you know they're bought in and you know their identity is defense. And it's been a problem for their entire season, so I would hate to be the person that throws out there, well, yeah, maybe it'll change just in the postseason. I don't know why all of a sudden with the snap of your fingers it changes, but hey, it's playoff basketball. You'll be talking about Eastern Conference Finals. You'll be talking about wanting to prove everybody wrong who thinks this is the Brooklyn Nets to win. So maybe that makes everyone rise to the occasion and Danny Green's voice becomes louder and Dwight Howard's role becomes even bigger from a veteran leadership standpoint, which is hard to even imagine, but let's just pretend that is the case and everyone's just focused more, so naturally that part of your game, that running up and down and getting back early and setting the tone defensively, maybe that does change. I'm loving this team right now, though. They're playing great basketball. There's no doubt about it. I'm curious what's next, what it looks like next for this Washington Wizards team. It's either going to be roll over and die or, hey, let's just play for our team, for our city. Last home game probably for the fans that come out, even though majority of them are 76ers fans, probably driving down 95 and going down that direction towards Washington, D.C. Let's give them a show. And maybe the Sixers, I don't know, let their foot off the gas or something. It's hard to sweep a team, but it does feel this Wizards team is dead inside. Their soul has been snatched out of them. Russell Westbrook, you would think if he felt there was a possibility in the series, he would bring more energy, he'd bring more fire, he'd probably have more flair in his game, but it really isn't there. The back and forth between Joel, if this was a series where they felt they had even a little bit of a shot, you probably see Russell Westbrook with more of that red in his eyes. You don't see it at all. It's because he knows, just like we all know. And something you do need to know is DraftKings Sportsbook and their phenomenal odds and promotion boosts. It's playoff time, big stakes, bigger promotions. DraftKings Sportsbook is putting you courtside with a chance to turn $5 into $200. That's 40-1 odds on any basketball game. All you have to do is pick any team that is still in the hunt for the trophy, and if that team wins, you will receive $200 in free credits. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code Brodes when you sign up to turn $5 into $200 in free credits. Bet on the basketball team of your choice to win their next game, and if they do, you can claim $200 in free credits. That's promo code Brodes for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only, new customers only. Wager paid out in site credits. Restrictions apply in partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's head on over to the Anytime Hotline and hear what you had to say after this beat down. 3 down, 1 to go. They crucified the Wizards. All right, let's start it off. Here we go.
What's going on, Brodes? What a game. Good job, Sixers. I don't know what was more entertaining, Joel Embiid getting a new playoff high or Raul Neto going 1 for 12. That guy looks like Russell Westbrook out there. He blows. Oh, so does Westbrook. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Great job, Sixers. Let's go close the series out.
That's amazing. I will answer your question, even though I know that you were just being sarcastic with it. What's more entertaining? It's the big man. There's nothing better than watching this big man. I swear to God, it's me and my pup. All right, we're hanging out on the couch up in the family room watching this game. He's got his paws hanging off the couch. He's got his mouth wide open, and he's following the ball. When Joel makes a special play, you can see it in my dog's eyes that he even knows that Joel is on a different level. Let me repeat this for the 10,000th time this episode. 14 of 18 from the field, 36 points in 28 minutes. It truly is remarkable how he put his imprint on this game. He put his handprint right there and right from the jump. I mean, it was the Joel Embiid show, doing it in many different ways, and locked in. Locked in is a different even way to describe this, and I can only imagine what we're going to witness when it's Joel Embiid locked in against a Bucks or a Nets. A Joel Embiid locked in. And I know that he's not overlooking the Wizards, and you can hear the tone with anybody with this team. We haven't done the job yet. We're not satisfied. This isn't where we want to be right now. We're doing everything we can handle. We're doing the proper steps to get to that ultimate goal, but this is not the ultimate goal, and let's close this bad boy out in Game 4. And they're saying all the right things, and I do know that their locker room is engaged the right way. We all feel confident that they have their eyes set on the prize, and it does seem like they are just determined in another level that we are not used to seeing with some of these teams. They are that way right now. They're mentally clocked in for sure. It does, though, jump, and there is a leap when you see a Milwaukee Bucks, when you see a Brooklyn Nets, even when you see an Atlanta Hawks and a New York Knicks. We are watching these two young players grow. I've been super hard on Ben Simmons. We are still witnessing him take that next tier, jump up into that next tier with playoff basketball. Is it going to happen? I don't know. I'm here to find out, though, and I'm willing to see if that does happen with him. We're watching Joel, though, to a more extreme, going, holy shit. This is it. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is what it's like to have a Steph Curry on your team, to have a Kevin Durant on your team. When you think about those other cities and what the Golden State Warriors watch with Steph every single damn night, we have our version with that, and he's 7'2", and he's jab-stepping you to death in the mid-range game, and he's getting double-teamed. As he's getting double-teamed, he's fading towards the baseline and taking a jumper, hitting nothing but net. Yeah, please, show me someone that can stop this man. The answer is nobody. Nobody at all. We're watching these two grow, though, that we received from the process this year. And you can just get that vibe that this is going to be a crucial part of their development, this playoff run, however it ends. Because if it ends in pain, guess what? The reason why Joel Embiid took the steps that he did is because he felt pain in Game 7 against the Toronto Raptors on the road with Kawhi Leonard. So that was a huge influence on his mentality in the offseason. So if it ends in pain or it ends in the ultimate goal, there's something to be said about what this teaches our core that we're going to have here for quite some time, unless Daryl Morey does something insane.
Yo, what's up, Brodes? Sorry I haven't called in a while. I've been super busy. But, man, tonight was just a really fun game. The whole starting crew, everyone just felt like they were all rolling. Seth Curry was knocking down shots. Danny Green was knocking down shots. Tobias Harris was doing a little bit of everything. Joel Embiid was just unstoppable. Ben Simmons kind of played his role perfectly. He was aggressive enough that you can be satisfied at times, but he also did a great job facilitating and, getting other guys hot.
You just love to see it. The defense was pretty good too. They definitely had possessions where they clamped down and gave their full effort on that. So 3-0 lead. Honestly, I really just want them to finish this and sweep them, get extra rest and, go Sixers.
I'm with you with the extra rest. It's pretty damn funny, though, looking on the other side and seeing a team that just knows their fate, knowing exactly where this is headed and probably thinking to themselves, can it please be over? And all the jokes online, if it's a first-round playoff series and you go down 0-3, it should just be over from there. That should be the rule of the mercy rule. They're talking about mercy rules in baseball so position players don't have to pitch and yada, 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 which is a joke because we're talking about professional sports. Don't tell me that once a team is up by so much, it's time to call it. Oh, they're up 10 by the 6th inning. Shut up. What are we, 7 years old? Your ass. My ass. I don't want to see anything like that. In baseball, that is. In a first-round series of a 1-versus-8 matchup, if you go down 0-3, maybe throwing the white flag isn't such a bad idea because you're drawing out the inevitable here. So Monday, close the door. Close the door. Get some rest. Watch your next opponent battle up against one another, whether it's in Atlanta or if it's in Madison Square Garden. Watch these teams, Trae Young, Julius Randle, bang all game long. Talk their smack. Watch Trae Young put the A down saying, we see you in the A and all that nonsense. While you have your feet up, Joel Embiid is kicking back, getting extra rest. So whenever the ball gets tipped in whatever city they're going to go to and for whatever team comes to Philadelphia, they're going to get their asses waxed. And I'm here for it. Oh, I'm here for it.
I said coming into the postseason, the 76ers had to do two things to have a chance to win the championship. Number one, they had to maintain home court. Can't allow teams to come into Wells Fargo and steal games. And number two, Joel Embiid had to be dominant. Not good, not very good, but dominant. And tonight, he was dominant. That slam brought back memories that I had as a kid watching the 76ers with a center named Darryl Dawkins, the backboard destroyer. I'm surprised the rim of the glass didn't shatter on Embiid's effort tonight. I mean, just a solid effort. That's what you do to an inferior team. You go out and you kick their ass. Let's get the brooms out because Monday night I want to end this series. Let's get them out in 4.
I'm with you. Let's get him out in 4. All right, so a couple things. Yeah, if Joel landed the first dunk, I seriously would have thought my whole entire house would have blew up because that was disgusting. And I didn't know how to react. I fell over. I was like, oh, no, come on. Come on. When I saw the ball explode up, I was like, no. Moments later, though, I got my wish, and he truly set that whole damn building up in flames with an amazing, amazing play and approach to the basket in that one drive. Our 7'2" guy driving with that type of intensity. And when you think about that, right, I automatically go, well, no one could really guard him on this team. What player can guard him on the Hawks? What player can guard him on the Knicks? What player can guard him in the league, really, right? I mean, that's the obvious that we're getting to here. He's going to be able to have his way. He's going to be able to have his way. And if Danny Green and Seth Curry are clicking, you're not going to be able to compete with this basketball team. If one of them have an off day, well, yeah, you might be in a tougher spot. What's Tobias' day going to look like? I mean, he was damn solid. 8 of 14, 20 points, 5 assists, 13 points. He just flies under the radar a little bit. If one of those players are off, well, then maybe that Tobias night isn't as quiet because he was executing in his moments that were more noticeable as Seth or Danny was maybe a bit ice or cold out by the perimeter. Or that's when you do need Ben. Because everyone says, I don't care if Ben gets me this or that. Well, if other guys are off, that's when you're going to need Ben to utilize his size and his ability to dribble and his ability to drive with that type of speed and that ferociousness, if that's even the right word, to explode towards the rim. You are going to need that out of Ben if some of the other players aren't having their nights. This was a night where everyone was on that rhythm. Everyone was clicking. And if it is that way, yeah, you're not going to be able to hang with this team. And that's the huge positive. It's just, can you get it to the point where this is more of the outcome than not. And that will change based off of the level of competition. So I'm excited. I'm excited to find that out. But you're right. It comes down to Joel Embiid's dominance. How are teams going to play him, though? Are they going to double constantly so it's anyone but? The anyone but theory. Anyone but Joel Embiid. And this has been a hot topic all week long with this squad. It's basically, can you appreciate the now, or are you too much looking ahead? And I'll kind of tease that for a future show that we're going to do after the series is over, and there's going to be some time for their next series as things get played out and you find out who your next opponent is. And I think I have a really interesting perspective on that. But this conversation somewhat ties that into it, because here we are talking about you're going to go far if Joel Embiid has his way, and if Joel Embiid is grooving and cruising the way that he has. And I'm acknowledging that, and while we're discussing this game, it automatically flows into, well, what about the Hawks or Knicks? What about whoever's next? What about the Milwaukee Bucks? Do they have the best chance? They probably do. And I'm not telling you that's an amazing chance. I think their ability to stretch everybody out, though, makes it a different dynamic. So it's not shutting down Joel Embiid that I think the Bucks can do. I think they have a unique style to them that can change the defensive sets and the defensive views for the Sixers, and that can open up a can of worms more so than what anybody else can do, because the Bucks play such a strong, structured team game the same way that the 76ers do. So it'll be really interesting. So with that, we're going to end things here. First, Orbit Energy and Power. If you're looking to go solar and have a $0 electric bill each month, make sure you call your solar experts at 800-836-3987 or visit them online at orbitenergy.us. They also provide water purification systems, backup energy services, battery storage, tree removals, electrical upgrades, and so much more. They are located in Mantua, New Jersey. They do work in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Florida. So if you're looking to upgrade your home, they truly have the best-in-class work at Orbit Energy and Power. 800-836-3987. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you next time.